Hey folks, thanks for joining me again. John Kaminski. Welcome back to Musical Excursions. I get a kick out of my name for these things. All right, so Satin doll. Let's have a little fun with that. The melody in there a little bit. Okay, come on, stop. All right. Anyways, so there we go. I've been I just wanted to play around with those changes a little bit and mention a couple things. Now, you know, they're basically just 2 5s through the whole song, moved around. So, but I want to mention a couple of things that maybe help you out with some ideas. All right? So, just kind of how I like to look at things in general, too. So, yeah, I'm in this camera. Let me switch over. I can't get used to, you know, I have to be cameraman and sound engineer and everything at the same time with doing this stuff. And boy, haven't gotten a haircut since before COVID either. Anyways, well, that really looks great, doesn't it? Oh boy. All right. Anyhow, it's like a rock star. So you could look at this like a 2 5, right? It's in the key of C, D minor 7 to G7. Right? 2 5 in the key of C. Now you could think of it all in C major. You could think of it as D Dorian. Sorry, I just put a chromatic already. Right? Or G Mixolydian. All the same notes. The reason I bring up the idea of the different, modes is because if you think that way, that, you know, maybe be helpful to you. Anyways, but so you can use that. You can use, of course, arpeggios, D minor 7. You know, G. Arpeggio type ideas, you know, not necessarily straight arpeggio. I like to skip notes sometimes and then play a little line, so do a partial arpeggio, or even coming down, do a chromatic, things like that. Now, I hate when people say, you know, okay, my gosh, scale, you're talking about mode scales and all that stuff, so it's all nonsense. It's all useless. No, it's not. Because the point isn't to play the notes in order, you know, with the scales or the arpeggios. Anyways, it's just to know which notes, you know, work, which notes are part of the key, okay, and the harmony and the melody and what all works together. So it just gives you choices. You can have those and just use them however you want. So, you know, but I also think it's important to look at the chords you're on and play to those, not just say, okay, the whole thing's in C right there for a while. I could just play, you know, the key of C. Well, yeah, you can, but it's not necessarily going to sound real interesting, or you might land on funky notes that doesn't sound like you meant to, because you're not necessarily playing to the harmony. So if I like to look like, if I'm in the D minor, I want to think of that. If I think of the notes that are in the D minor chord, the third, fifth, the flat seven, and I know that my Dorian works, so I know that's a natural 6, but I could still put in that flat 6 in a chromatic leading into it, like a 7, 5, flat 6, or 13 if you want to look at it that way. You could go down from the 7 or the 4 to the 3, I'm sorry, to the minor third. Or when you're on the G, minor's the major third there as a little chromatic move. And strong notes or chord tones, even if it's a 6, like a 13 is nice, like I like to land on 6s. 6 for the D, or for the G when you're on there. I just did something different. Okay, so that's, that gives you those options. It's not just scales and arpeggios. You have to follow those note for note. But I do think it's important to look at the chords that you're on and play to them. It's unless it's like a big long line that's leading to the C that you're gonna get big. And I don't know, but make sure you pay attention. You just what sounds good. Ultimately, we all want to hear what we're going to play, before we play it or as we're playing it. So intend the notes, So anyway, D minor 7 to G, that covers that one. Then you got the E minor 7 to A7, same thing, just up a step. Also, it's good to know your way around, so you're not necessarily just, oh God, that's a cool lick here. And then, it's nice to be able to and know that there's an E minor right here and an A7 right here too. Can you see that? Let me switch over. Oh, ouch. They knock your eardrum out of place. All right, so, when you're doing D minor 7 to G, it's nice to know, where if you end up somewhere else, there's an E minor right here, C, A. And then that way you don't have to jump up here, to play your chords when you're comping or to play a line. Just something to think about. I've gone over this before in other episodes where, at least learn, say, 3 ways to play, any kind of chord. And after that, you're going to start finding more ways to do it. You're going to be playing partial chords all the time. Then you can pick and choose the voicings you want, things like that. But if you know at least 3 ways, then you don't have to jump all over the neck. So I'm just saying, because you have if I wanted to, I could say right here for the D minor 7 to G7. It's right there. Then the E minor 7 to the A7. I played at A13, but it doesn't matter. It's right here. Then you have... But you don't have to, jump all over. That's all I'm saying. So have fun with that. And did I mention the other section yet? So it goes, So over that, what are you thinking there? So it's basically just like you're going to see in different books and with different musicians you jam with, maybe they might play a whole, a bunch of different things over that is what I'm saying. But the main tonality is going to be basically just a D7, D9, D flat 9 to the C major. Well, that kind of is acting like a 2-5 too, because it's kind of like the D flat is acting like a tritone sub for the G. So yeah. So if you treat the D like a 2 but with a dominant, you might be thinking a Mixolydian for D. Now there you have choices. Whenever you have like a dominant chord in a kind of out of place position like that, a lot of times the fourth mode of melodic minor works well. If you know your mode's there, that's why these are useful. Which would be, so see, Mixolydian. Sorry, that's the important note. Because it leads, see, it's in all of them. So that's another thing to think about. Next section, see, or if you want a 2-2 bar, right? G minor 7, it's another 2-5 to F. Same stuff. So if you actually go to the 1 on this one, the F, then up a whole step. So it'd be A minor 7 to D7 to the G7. And that hangs there for a whole 2 bars before you come back. So, you know, you can, a lot of times you'll have guys will do different changes there, maybe do a full 3-6-2-5. Then you're back to, in other words, and then the G7, instead of doing that, they might actually, you know, 2-5 in there, or you'll have a, you never know what someone might do. I've played it, and people have done things like we'll have a G minor to the dominant 7 like that, so it'll put a diminished chord between, and you never know what you're going to get there. So, but when you're hanging on a chord for that long, if it's just the dominant chord, full 2 bars, it gives you more room to try out your chromatics and little outside notes, sliding in and out of the key a little bit. And so that's something to give a try. So I'm going to play a little more, and thanks for watching. And make sure you subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Thanks a lot.